Now, gentlemen, you may find this hard to believe, but there was a time when I wasn't this good looking. Yeah, there was a whole last decade when Antonio didn't know about style. Here's a picture from my sister's wedding. Look at that shirt. A short sleeve shirt with a necktie. Oh, and what a necktie that is. And here's me with my beautiful Triumph motorcycle. What is up with that ugly, oversized orange vest? And look at this outfit I put together. I can tell you Lady Liberty is not pleased to be in this photo with me. In today's video, gents, style lessons I wish I would have known sooner. Lesson number one, oversized clothing does not make you look good. Look at this picture here. I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, yet I'm 5'9" and weigh 160 pounds. And the funniest part is I genuinely thought I wore a size extra large. For my build, for my body though, I wear a size medium. And why do so many guys gravitate towards these extra large sizes? Because they mistakenly believe that a loose cut, that all this excess fabric is going to give them a more comfortable fit, is going to give them more freedom of movement. But that's not the case. It's actually going to be the style, the cut, and the brand that's making that garment and how it fits on your body. Because when you look at a shirt, it's not about having a bunch of excess material around the waist. It's actually having maybe a higher armhole. Why? Because when you have a higher armhole on a shirt or a jacket, when you raise your arms up, that jacket isn't going to bunch up. It's also not going to raise as much, so your shirt won't come untucked. When you look at jeans, if you go for something that's a really loose fit jean, what you're going to notice is the inseam is oftentimes going to be cut lower. This basically shortens the leg line. Just think about with your fingers. If you got a short leg line, you're not going to be able to move much. But if you want jeans that are functional, you want to have higher on the inseam, therefore a higher crotch area. You find something that fits you well. And I'm not talking about tight. I'm talking about something that just fits you well. And all of a sudden, you're going to have more freedom of movement because you're going to have a longer leg line. The next mistake that I'd like to turn back the clock and change, I went cheap on my foundational pieces. So I had to put together a suit. I'm doing some interviews, and I remembered, I'm not even going to talk about the suit. I went really cheap there, but I went incredibly cheap with the shoes. I've talked about this before. Your shoes are the foundation of your outfit. I do think it is something that you should save up and go for shoes that are stitched together, either a Blake stitch or a Goodyear welt. I bought glued shoes, and sure enough, within 6 months, they started falling apart. They had fake leather on the top. They just never looked good to begin with. Now, I know what you're thinking, Antonio, I don't have a wallet full of hundreds. I have a wallet full of fives. How do I build a wardrobe? How do I grab these foundational pieces when I don't have much money? The answer is you leverage the power of technology. One of my favorite examples, ShopTagger. I've talked about this app before. They're the sponsor of today's video. And what I love about these guys, it's a free app that you go download. You first create your wish list. Then you go through and you start to tag items. And by the way, this works with over 4,000 stores. We're talking Amazon, Nordstrom, Target, J.Crew, Neiman Marcus, Adidas, Levi's, Doc Martens, JCPenney's, Ralph Lauren, American Apparel, Thursday Boots, LL Bean, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. So you're going through all these stores, creating your wish list, tagging all these items. The best part is whenever it's in your size, whenever it's back in stock, whenever they've got the item you want at the price you're willing to pay, because you actually can put on there a notification when it goes on sale. Boom, you're notified. You can go grab the item. And when you go to checkout, they also make sure to apply the best discount code out there. Guys, if you're not shopping with ShopTagger, you're just wasting money. Gents, this one's a no-brainer. Save money, shop smart, use ShopTagger. I'm linking to them down in the description. Absolutely free app, amazing app, highly recommended. Use the link down in the description. Go grab it. Next up, we've got graphic tees. This one right here, I wore it during a presentation in college. And to this day, a friend of mine's wife who was in that class still remembers it and brings it up. Now, I get it. Graphic tees are funny. They're entertaining. They can bring up interesting questions. But as you start to dress better, as you start to dress as a professional, you go out there and you get a job, you need to realize that the statement on your shirt, actually, people could take the wrong way and it makes you look immature. I'm not saying you got to throw them all out, but I am saying be careful when you wear them and understand that the clothing you wear, everything you put on your body, it's a reflection of you and your goals and where you're going in life. The next style lesson I wish I would have learned earlier, spending more money going for a name brand does not guarantee high quality. In fact, it could be something where that brand is resting on its laurels. That brand, maybe you buy a counterfeit. The point is, buyer beware. You need to understand quality. So how do you understand quality? Go into the best menswear store in your area. Inspect a $2,000 suit. Look at an $800 sports jacket. Go try on a pair of $500 shoes. Yes, you may not be able to afford it. You may not even right now be in the market for this. The thing is, once you start to spot quality, once you start to understand it, once you build up your reference to what is out there, all of a sudden you're going to be able to better see it. You're going to be able to look at the stitching. You're going to be able to look at the construction. You're going to be able to look at the fabric, and you've felt it. You know what great shoes feel like, what they look like. And so when you talk to a salesman who doesn't know his head from his backside, you're able to look at this and say, you know what? I'll skip on this. Or, wow, this is a great deal. I'm going to jump on it. The next lesson, the most expensive clothing you'll ever own is the clothing you don't wear. So let's go back to that orange vest. Now, this one, I remember, this was the only time I ever wore that orange vest. But you know what? I got it at 80% off. It was, I think, a brand, Nautica. And here's the thing is, I was drawn to the brand. I really liked, I didn't like the color. I didn't like the fit. But you know what? I wanted to buy it because it was on sale. That was the most expensive vest because I wore it. I didn't even feel comfortable. I think I took it off and put it in one of the side pouches on my motorcycle. The point is, items that you don't wear, you really aren't worth anything, and you might as well, you wasted your money. So it's better to spend $1,000 on a suit and wear it 200 times and to absolutely love that suit, to feel like $1,000,000, than to spend $200 on a suit that you wear once and you felt like it was a box and you never wore it again because you were embarrassed by that suit. Now, a lot of people, that was a $200 cheap suit. You got a better deal. No, you didn't. You spent $200 per wear versus the other suit that you wore 200 times. It was $5 per wear. And every time you wore it, it felt like $1,000,000. That's what you want to do. Save up for those foundational pieces. And when you get them, when you know that this is actually the right choice, then you go ahead and you wear it till it falls apart. And to me, that's a great deal. Now, the next mistake that I made is the mistaken belief that fashion is only for snobs. And if you care about style and image, you are a shallow person. Guess what? We are all shallow human beings. We're human beings. We make second decisions based off of what we see. And I know that we strive to be good people. If you're watching my channel, I know that you've got big ambitions. You want to start that company. You want to get that nonprofit off the ground. You want to get there and change the world. But when you understand that most people's brains are incredibly lazy, the lizard brain, we get back to the fight or flight, we make a snap judgment. We see somebody, and if they meet our vision of success, we give them a little bit of extra time till they disprove they're not that person. If someone looks like they're going to rob us, someone looks like they're going to attack us, we react. And when you understand that we are very visual and that we fall into these shortcuts, our brain does this to save energy and to protect us. There's a long history behind this. All of a sudden you realize, wow, actually fashion and image and style, this is all about simply using presentation to my advantage so that I can go out there and be successful. It's not about that fashion is for snobs. It's about smart men who want to achieve greatness, realize that you could leverage it to get what you want out of life. The next style lesson I wish I would have learned earlier is that your style will evolve. Your tastes will change, and you don't have to dress the way other people expect you to unless you're regulated. Because when I was an officer in the Marines, whenever we would go out, whenever you had to actually wear certain types of clothing, there were regulations for even when you're in your off time that you had to represent the United States Marine Corps. And that really programmed me to have a certain type of haircut, to have a certain type of style, to always look a certain way. And it took me a while to get out of that. Even after I left the Marine Corps and I went off, started my first company and started traveling around the world, lived abroad, it was something that I thought I was set as to who I was going to be. And the first time, and this actually takes me to the next point, is only buy your clothing piece by piece. Because I remember going out there and buying my first set of suits when I thought I was going to go to business school, and I did go to business school, but I bought like 3 or 4 of them at the same time, and they were all a similar style, a similar cut. And what's funny is I don't have any of those. I gave them all away because the suit cut was so wide. It was so big. I thought that that's what I wanted to go with, that that's who I was. And then a couple years in, all of a sudden I realized, no, I want something that fits a little bit closer to the body. I want to actually maybe grow my hair out a bit. I want to change up my style. And understand, guys, that your style can evolve over time. Your tastes can change as you age, as you learn more. All of this is perfectly fine. And make sure when you're buying clothing, you buy it piece by piece. Now, I understand some people, when they need to go and they need to build a wardrobe, they need to build it fast. And maybe you spent a lot of time researching. You've been studying style maybe on and off for 10 years. So you kind of know what you're doing. But for most men, you only want to buy piece by piece by piece. So I know a lot of custom clothiers, they sell these package deals. If you're just getting started, don't buy one of those package deals. You want to just buy and build it up piecemeal if you have the time. Now, these next three, I'm going to lump them together because they play off each other, and that is spend cash. Be careful of store credit cards and never walk into a sale. So let's talk about spending cash. When you spend cash or maybe a debit card, the point is that you're seeing that money come out immediately. I highly recommend, though, you spend cash when you're just starting off. I know not possible on the web all the time, but the point is when you spend that hard-earned cash, you feel it. It hurts. And I want you to be careful when you're just getting started. I would rather you spend more time thinking, looking, doing research than just go blindly out there spending money. Because when you use a credit card, you don't feel the pain as much. And studies have shown that you're more likely, oh, it's $900, but I can get this for an extra $100. Yeah, let's just go for an even $1,000. Guys, that's a lot of money. So be careful when you're out there spending money and try to spend cash. Now let's talk about the store credit cards. These look like a great deal sometimes. Oh, wow, I'm spend a lot of money and I can save 20% if I grab the store credit card today. First up, do you have a good credit score? If you don't know your credit score, then don't grab one of these cards because this is going to ping your credit score and it can negatively affect it. But more importantly, look at the terms and conditions. Are they charging you 20% interest? Guys, that's a ripoff. Go with 8. There are many better credit cards out there. And I know, okay, if you're going to do it, because let's say you're going to spend $2,000 and that 20% off, well, that's $400 I can save today. I get that, but make sure that you pay that credit card off immediately and be very careful about the terms. Make sure that you don't fall into the trap of getting too much credit. So many Americans, so many people out there in the world have credit issues. And let's talk about falling into a sale. This is when you buy something that's unplanned. Gentlemen, if you're building your core wardrobe, if you're building your interchangeable wardrobe, you want to go out shopping with a list. You don't want to go in just say, hey, I'm going to look around and see if I find anything. That means you're going to fall into the trap of, oh, wow, normally $300. It's on sale for $200. I will save $100. No, you're still going to spend $200. Be careful, gentlemen, of just falling into sales and buying things you don't need. So I've been talking about foundational pieces, but what do I mean? Gentlemen, find out in this video right here where I break out the foundational pieces that every man should consider buying. I go into a lot of detail, and I think if you're out there looking to build your interchangeable wardrobe, you're going to want to check out this video. I will also link to it down in the description.